but we here to be discovered. So,
Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all of you. I hope everyone is having a peachy blessed day. I want you to welcome you to In Celebration, where words jump off the page and make your imagination come to life. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Angie. I'm your host. And my partner in crime, my ride or die, my sister cousin is Artemis. Artemis, show yourself, girl.
Sammy,
See, I'm trying to be serious. You're making my silly side come out. How you doing today, girl? Is it hot down there in Alabama?
It's nice. It's nice weather.
Uh,
It was burning up, scorching, but the rain came, and so far we're in a transition with the
we,
temperature actually going down. So,
we got thunderstorm warnings and we got flood warnings up here in my county.
yikes!
Yeah, we surrounded by rivers and lakes, and when it floods good. Um, Next is something that first I want to give you all this quote. I thought it was really cool. It says, and it falls in just with what Derek was talking about. It says, believe in yourself. You're braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you can imagine. And that's by Roy T. Bennett, and it's from his book, The Light in the Heart. And today, uh, we are celebrating the explosive, dynamic duo. First, we have an outstanding poet and author, Christopher Bogart, and we have the extremely, exceptionally talented Derek, and Derek's going to pronounce his own last name. I'm not doing it.
Derek
Um,
Perriott,
Thank
also
you.
known as Shinsomnia, is the poet name that I go by. And we'll explain what that means further on in as we go on with the show.
And you know I already had pronounced your stage name because that one was not happening. I'm sorry, that was not happening.
Got you.
There's something that Artemis and I do,
Mm,
and is a testament that she's starting to think like me, which is a very good thing.
mm,
And
It.
and what happened is we happened to think about the same thing, and we hadn't talked to each other. What we
mm,
do is that we tell you what you mean, what your name means, and when we tell you that, then we'll write a poem about it. Your
mm,
your name is beloved or
mm,
darling. Christopher, your name means bearer of light.
mm,
I'm sorry, bearer of Christ.
mm.
And before we get started, I got a couple of questions for you. Um, Derek,
Yes.
what inspired you to write and perform?
So what inspired me to write was around the top of 2023. I just recently happened to be in the transition of moving spaces, so I was currently unemployed, and around that time, um, my mom was telling me, whether it be schooling or it's just figuring out what it is I want to invest my time. She felt like, I've been working pretty much since I was 16. Around that time, I was 22. So she wanted to give me some space to figure out if I wanted to do something a little bit further. So around the time I did happen to study a communications course, but I was also doing a lot of soul searching. And one of the things I wanted to be sure of is, I happen to be involved in martial arts. I practice that a lot, but they say every warrior should also learn the pen. And something that always intrigued me was poetry, and I already happened to delve a little bit into music since I was around like 17. I was with a group known as Love Block that is no longer together, but being around that group, we would freestyle, we would write, and eventually got into recording music. And so this led me into writing through music. But over time, I realized I'm in a day and age where a lot of the music is based around certain concepts that don't necessarily fit what I want to align myself with. Always been what they would consider an old soul, and so I wanted to make sure that when I was making music or I was creating anything, that it held purpose, meaning, and it was something that could help me or another expand. And so I decided after a long time to finally pursue my interest in poetry, and it was more so to just get a comprehension of some thoughts and bring clarity to a lot of conceptions that I knew I wasn't putting into a space to be birthed.
Awesome. You seem like you really know where you want to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's getting clearer and clearer every day.
That's awesome because most people my age still don't know which way they're going.
Mm.
Um, and I'm proud of you for that. Um, Mr. Chris, what inspired you to write? Did I lose Chris?
What inspired me to write? Um, um, I love to read. I've been reading since forever. When I was a little kid, I used to read classic comic books, and I wanted to write. And so what I did was I started doing poetry, but I didn't know whether I was any good at it. So I I just kept it all to myself. And then when I retired at 65 years old from teaching, I decided to see whether I was any good at it. And I think I told you this before. I retired 16 years ago from teaching. And in that period of time, I got two master's degrees and published 10 books of poetry, raised a son, and am mentoring three young men. So it's a busy day. But at any event, I it's my way of communicating. And I feel sorry for people who say that, I'm dry. I don't have anything. I got news for you. I can't go to bed because so many times something comes into my head and I want to write it down. So I've been blessed with a whole lot of inspiration. And I get my inspiration from a lot of different places. So what I would like to do with the readings that I do today for you is I'd like to show you how many different types of poetry have influenced me, even though I was an English teacher for 40 years and, I'm 80 years old. So um, you would think that I was more of a traditional poetry writer, but that isn't the case. And I'm learning every day. Actually, I would say that for Derrick is learning every day, and I'm learning every day. And if you stop learning, then you stop creating.
This is true. Um, Whenever I talk to you, even though I don't turn my camera on, which I very rarely do, uh, I always come away with something new. And my mom was sitting here the other day when you were talking, and it just she I think she was learning as much as I was. So you're an excellent teacher.
Mm. That's great. Yeah. He is a great teacher. I will attest to that as well.
Okay. Um. Now we're coming to the best part, and I have something that I want to share. Let me see if I can share screen without screwing up. Oh crap! It's gone. Hold on for half a second. Let me go pull it up. Here we go. There it is. Let's come back. Here we go. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this right. There it is. There it is.
Yes, Sirski. It's your boy. Just clear for all see through like. It's your boy. Shinzo back at it. Catch a vibe with me. Catch a vibe with me. Don't go once you slide on me. Shifting time and speed like. Catch a vibe. Once you slide. Shifting through time like. Catch a vibe with me. Catch a vibe with me, don't go once you slide on me. Shit through time and speed like zoom. Know what it is, see the moon. I can get you zoning all through soon. There's a few things that we could do. Gon' make this clear for all, see through set. Catch a vibe with me, catch a vibe with me, don't go once you slide on me. Shit through time and speed like zoom. Know what it is, see the moon. I can get you zoning all through soon. There's a few things that we could do. Gon' make this clear for us. Barely do I know, barely get around. I've been focused on the flows, grinding 9 to 5, flipping on the side, stacking at the dough, but I smoke. Draining out the pockets and I think it's all a waste. Habit gotta go. Said this once before, then I lay my eyes on you, now it's gone. Got me in the zone, made me wanna take control. Polish up my pivot, get a little more vision, my pursuit for the throne. Feeling gotta eat and I got a better home. Wanna tour the world and you wanna tour too. I'ma overstep, get the trip, slipping all the juice. Confess, get addicted, so I really make a move. Since I couldn't hurt my urges back when it came to you. Get your vibe with me, get your vibe with me, don't go once you slide on me. Shit through time and speed like zoom. Know what it is, see the moon. I get you zoning all the shroom. There's a few things that we could do. Gon' make this clear for all, see through set. Get your vibe with me, get your vibe with me, don't go once you slide on me. Shit through time and speed like zoom. Know what it is, see the moon. I get you zoning all the shroom. There's a few things we could do. Gon' make this clear for all, see through set. It's just me and you, a vibe and a drink or two. You got dreams and I see it, boo. Believe in you, support you too. Where it gets scary, she ain't spook. I'll never for you, run checks with you, can check on you when times get hard. You need love from a young bug, with a touch of a thug and a dash of a king, and a whole damn slab of best you ain't seen. Sprinkle on the season, got so weather through the season, then you made it through the storm. Standing on your toes, sure you got flaws. Who really don't to me? You seem perfect, objective, reflective. Who could reject you with a thick or get to busting out the scenes? Much to learn, sure liking what I see. Grateful, they ain't get a turn. Almost like you saved yourself for me. Knew what it was, had the beauty of my beast. Maybe it's love or maybe it's a speed. Maybe a touch, just show me what you need. Get your vibe with me. Get your vibe with me, don't you slide on me. Shit through time and speed like zoom. Know what it is, see the moon. I get you zoning all them shrooms. There's a few things that we could do. Gon' make this clear for all, see through sound. Get your vibe with me. Get your vibe with me. Slide on me. Shit through time and speed like zoom. Know what it is, see the moon. I get you zoning off the shrooms. There's a few things that we could do. Gon' make this clear for all, see through like.
Yeah,
Everybody,
that was a fun one.
I want you to unmute and I want you to give the biggest love to Mr. Derrick. I was looking out on your web, and when I
Mm,
saw that, I'm like, oh, see, I got to introduce him with this.
mm,
And there was never a spot. You know how you usually just give a portion, and there was never a spot in there that you could just go and cut it off. Everything had to be. I mean, I couldn't. I said, you know what? I don't care how long this is. I got to share the whole thing. It has to be done.
I
So
appreciate it.
that was awesome. It was
Thank you.
the sound effects, everything was perfect.
Yes. And
Perfect.
shout out to 35 Studios, the producer, the one who helped me record it, and also the one who did the visualizer for me. It was very, very fun making that project right there. I
I
enjoyed
could
it.
see you were having fun,
Yes,
and it was really good. I enjoyed it. So now
I'm glad you did.
the mic is yours. You can we now you've already dazzled us a little bit, gave us just a little sample. Now we want the whole meal. You got the
Mm,
mic, go for it.
okay. All right. So that's a little element, as you know, poetry and music, they flow very well together. That's actually one of the songs that I said I made after I took a break from making music for a little bit. I reserved myself. I started writing my poetry. I went on to allpoetry.com. It's a space where you can go ahead and you can upload your poems for free. There's plenty of groups that will teach you how to write all kinds of things. I've seen groups with like haikus and all these other stuff. I never really explored too much of the teaching stuff. I more so just wanted to understand what it is I wanted to write and understand whatever natural talents and gifts that I had about delivering what was in my mind and putting it to paper or to a typewriter. And that's where I started. But the first song that I would say that I made officially when I happened to make that transition of taking my time to poetry and then eventually return to music once I understood better my sound was actually a song called Reeking Collard Greens, which is a song that I made as a tribute to both my aunt and my mom. My aunt around 2023, um, she was dealing with stage 4 cancer, and unfortunately, we lost her and during that time, I was experiencing various things, and one of those things was homelessness. But I did happen to find a spot. It was a winter rental, and during that time that I was staying in a winter rental, that was probably the most stable area that I was able to get, and so I was able to sit with a lot of my thoughts and I happened to hear a song literally a couple of days before we get the spot, and it was a song by J. Cole and Daylight, and that song was called "Plate of Collard Greens." Now, my mom is Puerto Rican, but I am both Puerto Rican and black. But my mom made it a point to always keep us closely knitted to our culture. So she would during Thanksgiving, she would make all the Spanish stuff, but she would also make the mac and cheese, the collard greens, everything that we needed so we could still feel at home because my dad was never far, but we didn't get to spend too much time after I was 9 years old. That was probably the last time I seen him consistently in my life. And so her always doing that was a blessing. And I kind of used that as a way to reference the fact that, soul food, right? And my mom was one of the people that always fed me as much wisdom as she could, regardless of any difficulties and whatever struggles she had when she was raised up. She tried her best to make sure she didn't replicate those mistakes. And she always tried to provide me with the best wisdom that she could. And so, if Chris could do me a solid, I would like it if he could screen share Rican Collard Greens and we play that. And then after that, I'll read you a few of my poems. All right, he's working on it.
Chris, you're muted.
Yeah, because that phone was ringing.
Mhm.
But I'm working on this right now. I know what I've got to do. Just give me 1 second. Um, because I've got two things on here at once. All right, so now let me do this. No, not this. I'm sorry. One more.
Patience will have its perfect work. In the meantime, as that's going, I do have more than a few poems here. We'll see how much time we have in the long run, but I'm looking forward to a couple of these reads. It's time. Let's enjoy. Do you
You
do you
can't
guys
hear the
hear?
sound.
Yeah.
I thought I was deaf. I'm serious. Because I couldn't hear.
The audio isn't coming through the Zoom.
You're going to have to share your sound.
Angie, you're muted.
Okay. You look so pretty, Miss Sister Cousin.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
so brief intermission. He just got kicked off of the Zoom, so he's going to reset that up. In the meantime, I'll read you one of these small poems that I have, and then
Who
we
just
can go
got
into any
kicked off?
questions around that, and then we'll proceed further into the music
Okay.
video in just a moment. Okay?
The show is yours. If the mic shows, go for it.
Sounds good. So this poem is I have three published poems in Silence's Consent in the anthology that I'm planning to read today as well, but this is one that I want to start it off with. I feel like this is a good poem that is a great indicator for whenever it is that you feel like you may be procrastinating a little bit too much and you may need a little motivation to move forward. It's one that is definitely going to open your mind a little bit about how you look at it. This is called Lifeless Motion. Dead space fills the air. Bodies of procrastination chalk the floors. Excessive amounts of caution tape the scene. Wasted potential stains the walls in blood of talent unrealized. Investigations ensue, a search for any reasonable excuse, seeking to alleviate attention from the curated tension. The leading cause of death, ego, pride, lust, and abundance of vices forward. Lacking motivation, the prime suspect to this premeditated sabotage of self. All that remains is lifeless motion. When torn towards questioning why the scent of death fills the air with no corpses near, a putrid, wretched reality made ever so clear, a span of space and time that could have been used to live has been murdered by inaction. That is the poem.
I like that. That was really, really cool. You're very talented. You're going to teach me how to write like that.
Sounds good. My
Uh,
pleasure.
I think I write, I guess, what they would call just regular poems. I mean,
Mm.
my attention
I was
span is very short, so my poems are always short. And I'm trying to learn how to do the spoken word thing.
I'm actually learning to shorten some of my poems. When I first wrote, I would like to try and make as much room as possible to get all the thoughts out. And I think that's a fun way to write. It's honestly one that led me to feel a lot more comfortable with exploring the depths of my thoughts. But I do feel like learning to be concise with your words is also a powerful way to use your voice.
Can't get no more concise than mine. Because after a period of time, my brain will go, okay, I'm tired. And it just shut down. I have to end the poem. The only
Hmm.
time you'll see me with a little longer poem, I like to write historical poems. And
Mm.
I'm, I'm working on doing a Black History poetry book. And
Mm.
it's mostly for my grandkids so they can understand the history. And so I've been having fun doing that. Those are a little bit longer, not much, just a little
Right.
bit. And
Okay.
so um, I do understand most spoken word poems are long.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, especially because usually like it depends, but I know most of the spoken words that I've seen, you have at least anywhere between like 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes if you're a future poet, you'll have a lot more room. So it all depends on what you're going for. I know sometimes with me, I know my very first poem was um was almost an essay. It's on allpoetry.com under Shinsomnia. It's called Welcome. That's a really good poem. It's a poem that I would like to leave it up to the reader to potentially go and see it, but just to give some context in case anybody doesn't happen to go and search for it. It was a poem where I happened to during the time where I was doing a lot of, like I said, soul searching. And I happened to leave and I walk out my house. And as I walk out my house, I notice the entry mat, the welcome mat. And I happened to notice that, and there you are, Paula. It's great to have you here. How you doing? Um, and so welcome was basically me looking at that mat and kind of thinking, what is it like to if Matt had feelings and it could speak to me, what would it say? And as I started thinking about it, I realized that a Matt, the welcome Matt and me might have a little more similarities in some of the feelings that we may actually be experiencing, but me, lucky enough, has a voice that can share it, and so I decided to give Matt a voice as well. So if y'all are curious, that is on allpoetry.com. But who knows? I may be publishing that at some point if I find a way to get it done. I've been hearing that if you put things on websites, technically it's already pre-published, so you
Yes,
can't reuse it. But
yes.
we might still make it happen.
Um, I'm on All Poetry, so yes, I can look it up. But when you were saying you gave the mat, you looked at the mat and tried to see what would the mat say if it could talk. I'm gonna tell you exactly what hit my mind. You have to understand, my mind's a little twisted, okay?
Okay.
I thought about Stephen King because
Mm,
everything he does it is an inanimate object or something that really can't talk, and he
mm,
brings it to life. And that's
mm.
what I thought about was
That's
how
right.
you can bring inanimate. I mean, he did that with a car. He did that with a dog, a lawnmower, and he even
Mm.
did that with a clown. So it's you got it. If it, you
Mm,
got it, I wish you could have read that one. And you
mm.
said something else. You said some of the poems when you were it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You mean one poem 5 minutes or 10 minutes long?
Um, Me personally, usually my poems are most of my spoken word poems. The longest one I've had was about 3 minutes, but typically they're like like a minute and a half to about 2.5 minutes. But I have seen poets who have poems that go about 5 minutes long, and they'll usually do two pieces a set when they are given 10 minutes.
You know what? I don't have that many words to put together at one time on
Hmm.
one poem. That's a lot, and I have heard some that I be sitting there like, is he gonna ever stop? The poem can
Hmm.
go on and on and on, and then it'll get to a point where what they were saying didn't resonate with me. So I'm
Yeah, it
like,
gets
okay,
lost.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why I like to like the. I feel like for me, the 2.5, 3 minutes tops is like the perfect range for a spoken word. And it's so key. I feel like in spoken word to be able to bring the core concept back around full circle by the end of the poem, because it's so easy to get lost in translation when you're speaking for so long, because as you said, the person may start it off and it may be within the first 3 lines it catches your ear, and that's what you want to kind of hook on to, but then they keep going, they keep going, they keep going, and they never bring the hook back around. And that is something that is a very key component if you're going to be doing spoken word, is making sure that you can recenter the reader back onto the soul concept that you're trying to express.
yeah, because people like me clock out.
Mm.
I'm there physically, mentally. I'm done. I will clock out because I've had some that after a period of time I just couldn't. I didn't get it. And your poems are so sweet, and they make so much sense. And that's what I like about your poems. Um, some spoken word, they be so deep that you have to actually read it 4 or 5 times before you get grab the concept. But your
Yeah.
poems are so sweet and so simple, and they're so full of knowledge that I don't have to do anything but listen to it that one time. And you do it so softly. You don't yell, you don't scream, you don't do any of that. You are an awesome poet.
I
Chris, have you
appreciate
got
that.
his set up yet?
Yeah, I'm set up.
All right, perfect. Let's see how it's going this time around.
All right. Let me just give me 1 second. I'm just want to do a share. I just was looking for the setup. Hold on.
All good.
Yeah. Where is the share? Here we go. Here. It should go now. Tell me immediately if it doesn't. Breaking the pain of the days and night when the lights take it.
Yep,
Don't be
we
wild,
can hear it
baby.
now.
Dark and blind, there's no divider. Life's a sword that
Could you
shatters
just run it to the top for me?
order. Close my open through hard time. Wounds start soul. Pulls towards healing, intentionally moving forward.
Okay.
Heal her
I
has
can hear it. Could you just run it to the top of the video for me, please?
everybody dipped in the pond. No, not if I'm a Can you hear it? Born to bait for the line, something like in the cockpit with no co-pilot. Knowing I had a pilot just cause so as high as I
You
want.
started at the beginning, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And here we go.
Beat the wound, beat us to adolescence. Blessing the conception of life and repeat the message. It's precious. Mistakes are always mistakes. You can't retake them before you overstep. Trace the steps you take it. Test the graders. Test design to test your will to win. Testing your desirability to resist the caving in. Can't you wait? Joints aching, back breaking. The pain of the days, the night when the lights take it. No why, because when in the dark and blind, there's no divider. Life's a sword that shatters fell behind that push forward. Close my open through hard time. Wounds start soul. Pulls towards healing, intention to move forward. Heals her hesitation to moving on. Ankle grass flipped over the head, body dipped in the pond. No, not if I'm a Achilles reborn or bait for the line. Something like the cop, but with no co-pilot. Knowing I had a pilot, just cause sores, house I once and nose dive. Fighting to a pile of shit. Blows my mind up. Always a craft, built unique individuals that had a gift and a passion, with vision and built blueprints that can match. And no stop fighting, just showcase the talent. No hating, just smooth criminals and masses. Still see the top of the dome. Front face of the masses, up gathering the bastards that learn how to master motor shape and craft. The masterpiece through man, just now a piece in the hand of a young man with emotions left unmastered. On the other hand, another man seeks not to be a product of his environment. Happens to walk past him, bump shoulders like thighs. A young soldier passed over due to exchange of words, pain and hurt. Misplaced anger, missing fathers, praise and work. A rage and chain, a blazing force. Boiling blood that steams the pores. Get deep, of course. We ain't even reached the core. Plot of these scenes, we seen scheme before. Could have been me for sure. If I ain't seek to do, receive, achieve, to strive for more. By driving force, got repay all those times provided for. Mama, your little Miss Regan boy stands with boys. No, you always tell me to quiet my voice. I need to make some noise and sing the praise. All those principles instilled in love and grain. All that advice you gave when I wasn't listening to span the block and hit me clean. No, I just always spitting game. You gave everything. Flaws and all, consistent through all our days. You never changed, except in the later days. It's some of the best of ways. So many layers of people in many shades. Can't be too hasty to give a title or name. The ways of a person just surviving the days. No excuses, can't reason away. High tide coming and see the surface you sink. For all the thoughts that we think, never thought that we sink. Point we think it's better for us not to think. Punk is pulled by the strings, rehearse the seasons leaves. Script the fall in line, never question who should believe. When like those lemons, make it for squeeze. Young Jordan Gear recently turned 23, just stepped in the league. I'm here to compete. Mama still reeking, but she with that soul food good. Let me tell you about her mac and cheese. Oh Lord, don't get me started on freaking collard greens.
Thank you, Artemis. I had to make sure that I referenced the Spanish notes in there. Mommy's needed her praise.
That was so awesome. Now I like the part about the vegan green collard greens because I'm a vegetarian, so you know that just really set me real good.
Mm,
Um, that was really cool. You actually learned all of that. You know it by heart. Do you know all
hmm.
of your poems by heart?
Yeah, yeah. I know a good amount. I definitely y'all can hear me, right? Just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, but
Um,
um, but
all I
yeah.
can tell you is I'm proud of you. Cause me remembering that much, I do good to remember the first two lines of mine because
Mm,
um, you're not afraid. You don't have stage fright. You
mm,
don't stumble. If you turn the light on me and I'm fixing to without reading, then I'm lost. I
mm,
cannot, and I'm not saying can't because I'm afraid. I'm saying can't because I tried, and I get in public and it's just like I'm lost. So you can do a lot if you can remember that one
mm,
and not stumble through it. Because I got my closed caption on so that I can read. You know, when people are reading, I can
mm,
really look at it and absorb. And as fast as you were talking, that's how fast my words was coming across, and my mind was going, not I,
mm.
not I, not I. So you keep that spirit because you're very knowledgeable of poetry. So you need to keep that, and you'll go a long way. And just long as when you get to be famous, don't forget me. That's all.
Oh, I won't. I remember all the people who've been here for me, and been giving me the space that I need to be able to share the voice. It's all part of the garden.
So what else you got for me?
All right, so I'm gonna first read a poem in the book that Silences Consent, an anthology published by Christopher Bogart. I'm going to read one of my three poems in there. This one is called To Play and Direct. This is on page 272, going into 273. Um, let's begin. Enthralled to the scripted muse of casting long acted, the curtains close slowly on this now empty stage. Played my role masterfully, come to fancy this character, the scene has been cast, the story told and heard. Now no roles remain to take, having followed the script to its inevitable climax, then on until the end of the play. Where will my story begin afresh? Who am I if not who I've come to show? Were they mere performances, my life lived through the script given to me at birth? Am I what I am, or have I become what's been given to me? I know not, ever still the play must go on, the act and actor, the author and script. Scenes lasting forever, your name, listening lips to the next grand casting, too quickly forgotten, nigh the passion or the effort you're instructed to give. Perform then, your greatest. It's your own life to live. In this movie, you're the main character, as well as the director. You choose how the story will end. Take one, take two. You choose. It's your tale to tell. Cut, cut. We can do better. Take a pause, start again. The Savior and the sinner are now one, to play and direct, from script to tongue. Once thought, now matter. Stories of cliches or revolutionary tales, leaving expectations shattered. Play and direct.
Tell them what I do. I know I got two or three in the same anthology, but I want you to tell what the anthology is about.
So the anthology is basically about American poets and learning, speaking on a lot of the issues going on within the states of America. A lot of it, some of it refers to Trump, some of it refers to just the upbringing. I know there's plenty of poems in there that I haven't necessarily read yet. I don't necessarily come from as many angles directly that are political. I do have one poem that I'll actually read here that was probably my most politically based poem that speaks less directly on necessarily Trump or anyone in particular, but more so on some of the things that I've realized. And it speaks on the concept of the American dream, and my view of what that should be, and realizing that I don't necessarily feel like we're in alignment with that. So I'll go ahead and I'll share that one, but that is the context. This also is on Amazon. Feel free to go ahead and buy it if you would like. All of it is donated to um, Christopher. Could you let them know where it's donated? I want to make sure that I say the right donation. You see that?
Is it the American Civil Liberties? I think that's what it is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like the ASU or the ACU
Yeah,
or something along those lines, I believe. But yeah. So I'm gonna go
I
ahead and I'm
think
gonna
that's
read
what it
this
is.
one, and this is called "Not My Dream." See, I know we're blessed to have all we have. Still, I ponder how third world countries that have lesser resources possess a greater sense of peace. How we have billions of dollars to pour into other countries, accruing debt before resolving our own. How have we more freedom and access to speak than ever? Yet we're tied down by social grievances, political schemes, and mass insecurity. See, I know we're blessed to have what we have. Still, I question why war and suffering seem more important than clothing the clothesless or feeding the hungry. Why third world countries are considered before our own communities. Why only ads of starving stomachs. What of the starving minds and souls? See, I know we're blessed to have what we have. Still, I noticed many systems are put in place to strategically target set groups, limiting their resources, stifling their opportunities. There are several industries working together to suppress and manipulate the average consumer on multiple levels, feeding their greed. Countless agendas and plans mapped out, leading the masses to land of the timid and chained. As blessed as we are, there's always work to be done. As blessed as our comfort is, we mustn't get complacent. As blessed as America is now, it's far, far from the American dream. Yeah, that one was a fun write. That was actually something I made around the time that he actually shared with me that he was going to be releasing an anthology along that line, and it's definitely an area of poetry that I definitely plan to approach, especially from the community level. There's a lot that I know we face as Black, as Puerto Rican, and just as Americans, um, that goes on. And I'm realizing more and more that it's not just an American place theme, but there's a lot of it that goes on globally. And so starting to research and understand that more on a deeper concept so that I could speak on it properly and according to how I feel is best is definitely a way that I plan to take take some time into exploring.
You got it going on.
Hmm, I
You really
appreciate it.
do. Let me see what time is it. You get. I got time for you to give me one more. Then
One
it's
more.
got to be Mr. Christopher. And if we have time in the end, I want y'all to both come back and y'all can kind of play off each other. Y'all
Okay, that
seem to
sounds
do that
good.
very well.
Hmm, I'm gonna go with this one. I think this is a good one. I think this is a nice way to leave it off. And this is an unreleased poem that I haven't published yet, but I really enjoy this one, and I feel like you all will enjoy it as well. Life is an unrivaled challenge, a task suited for champions. To conquer the flesh, the ambition of all godly men, insight lacking, led to misdirection, resorting to extremes due to the experience of rejection. How far have we strayed from God's intentions? Life is an unrivaled challenge, a rough mountain to climb. Legs, arms, core, head, sore from toe to crown, still can't wither out. Stop climbing now and guarantee your fall, falling from heights nauseating to ponder. How long must we endure before we cease our questioning? Does a right answer exist? The unknown is infecting my brain like cancer. Life is an unrivaled challenge. Birth to die, dying to live, a study of all that is. Cycling the seasons as times burning with passion, others freezing in melancholy. To become one with our nature, the journey of man. How will this process of progress begin? Is there an answer I can accept? Life is an unrivaled challenge. Use provided no guidance, resorting to violence, steel to kill, pills to feel, drugs over hugs, rage untamed. Tempted mind frames, observations of perpetuated pain, a repetitious rage. Attempts to mute the truth, instilled fear. Death comes to those who speak on systemic abuse. Does living this dying life have any use? Life is an unrivaled challenge. You either succumb or you manage. Minds manic with panic, waiting for the next tragedy. What if we actually cared? What if we actually loved? What if we actually thought? Not King nor Malcolm would succumb. They managed to lead us forward. Nor will I succumb. I drive towards better days to use my voice for change. Life is an unrivaled challenge. The largest known tidal wave, must we surf with no board, beaten and battered onto shore, sure to hurt, pain from sticks, pain from stones, pain from words that ache our bones. Let it linger like a sore cut, probe the open wound, dig a whole finger into that sore spot. Sharks smell blood, jaws dropped, a known plot. Bleed your soul out, become a target. I'll be the mark. An exclamation bringing a sharp stop to the death sentence we serve ourselves. Life is an unrivaled challenge. Still holding its blessing, I'd like to see the youth bear fruit, thus planting seeds for the future. I've seen love through the shade, thus witnessing lighter days. I gather trust and faith, thus building strength. For all the challenges put in front of me, there's none I haven't faced. A truth that shall remain. Life is an unrivaled challenge, one we all must face.
How awesome.
Thank
Now, I'm going to tell you, I've done a lot of interviews, I've hosted a lot of people. You're the easiest one I ever did. I
you.
mean, you you're the easiest one. I didn't all the and all the questions I was gonna ask. You answered them. I don't even have to ask you anymore. And you were able to just keep the conversation flowing. You were teaching me at the same time. You got it
Mm,
going on.
I appreciate it.
Don't you change. All you need to do is grow. That's
Yes.
all.
All
And you're
praise
gonna
to
be out there.
God. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody, give him unmute, turn your cameras on, and give him love.
Woo!
That's it.
All I can say is, you don't look like how you sound. I look at you and then I hear all these words that's so much older than you, and all I can say is, well done, son. Well done.
Thank you.
Amen. I amen that all the way. Yeah,
Amen.
because I was listening. That last one really is older than you,
Yes.
and you look really quiet. You do look like you're really quiet, and then when you open your mouth, you just grow. You just
Mm.
grow, and you grow. I am super proud of you. I really am.
All praise to God. He blessed me with these gifts, and it's my job to do my part and share it.
Always remember,
Mm.
for every gift God gives you, You must use it to His glory. And when you use them to His glory, He'll keep giving you more. Always remember that.
Amen.
Always. An old lady told me that when I was young, and I have never forgotten that. And every time I do something for His glory, He blessed me with something else. So I'm passing that on to you. Never take your blessings for granted.
Never. We count it all joy through all
That's
trials.
it. God has truly blessed you, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
Mr. Christopher, you are front and center. See, everybody, Christopher is this. Okay, I can't keep calling you that, Chris, because one of them times my tongue gonna get real tired. You, I've never talked to you, and I went away and did not learn something. And I know that you. I can see when I look at Derrick that you are an awesome mentor. And in case you didn't know, you're my mentor too. I just didn't tell you that. But you're really awesome, and I just wanted to make sure that you know that you're doing a great job. You are teaching me, you're teaching him, and y'all, I want to know if y'all want to learn. I don't care what the subject is. Y'all need to clue in on him. So let's give Mr. Bogart, and yes, he's from a famous family. I just thought I'd tell y'all. See, I don't think anybody on here except maybe Paula, myself, and Artemis know who Humphrey Bogart is. Especially when I said he's from a famous family. Um, Chris, you answered all of my questions, just like Derrick. I have none except the floor is yours, and I want you to, and don't tell me it's my show. No, the floor is yours. However you want to do it, it's on you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm humbled, actually. And I also want to thank, by the way, Ron Bremner for showing up today. He's been a good poetic friend for a number of years now. I put my hat on, but it's not near me right now. So, but thank you. Um, I don't, I'm trying to think of, I want to give you kind of like a multimedia presentation here. I also want to, I don't know whether I can do this or not, but I'm going to try. In a few weeks, uh, Angie is going to be hosting all three of the poets that I am mentoring in the same thing. So you'll get to see a whole lot of different stuff. If I could give one word of advice to a poet, it would be this: learn from others. Keep your mind open. I know a lot of poets who have closed their minds and they write this kind of poetry and they'll say, well, no, none of that other stuff is poetry because it doesn't look like mine. Not the case. So what I'm saying to you is, I'm going to try to do this. This is going to be show and tell. This is the book that Artemis asked me to put in the this is the one that Derrick's in. This is also, by the way, the one that Angie's in. There are 83 poets in this book, and it's a very good book. And we've already raised $1,000, at least $1,000. Just got $100 donation yesterday. Is going to the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, to defend people who need their help. In many cases today, immigrants, people of color, lots of different people. I also have written a number of other books, actually 9 other books. And but what I wanted to start off with is this book. It's called it's called This Conversation. And what it is, it's a conversation between two white men at a bar. And it's about their conversation about what they're seeing on the screen, which at the time I wrote this was the Black Lives Matter movement demonstrating over the death of George Floyd. I did this because Emmanuel Acho said in his book, Conversations with a Black Man, that what he wanted white people to start talking to white people about race. And so what I did is I wrote this book in order to talk to white people. And I'd like to read, the book is divided into 8 parts, and each one of them is called a skirmish. And this is an example of a conversation. All of this is poetry, but some of it's free verse and some of it's a little bit more. I'm going to show you in a second. This is the 6th discourse. So it starts, he sat there quietly for a minute, gazing at the TV screen. With the sound turned way down, he broke his stare, raised his hand in the air and waved. Bartender, give my friend and me another round. The bartender returned with the necks of 2 beers gripped firmly between the fingers of his right hand. He placed the beers down. My friend gripped his fingers round, one cold beer, slid the other across to me. You seem pretty passionate about this topic, buddy. You got some skin in the game? Don't you have people of color in your life? Black friends, black coworkers, maybe just a few? I work with a few guys, maybe they're friends or acquaintances. Sometimes we eat in the same shift. He wrapped his 2 fingers around the beer bottle's neck, tipped the opening up to his lips. Have you ever asked any of them to your home, socialize with their families or their friends, or their families with yours? Why you ask me these questions, he said, somewhat annoyed. I don't get the point. So I've never invited them to my house for dinner. What are you trying to prove? He turned his back to the screen, turned around and faced me. What's it to you? It's simple. I'm trying to show you you're choosing to live in a white-only world. Your only association with people of color isn't social, it's accidental. You and these coworkers live in 2 different worlds. It's no wonder you say that you don't understand them. You don't even know them, and you've never given them a chance to know you. Why is that so important? Who I know and who I don't know. 2 hours ago, I didn't even know you. You're making my point for me, my friend. I raised my bottle in kind of a toast, then took a sip of my beer. Let me ask you another question. When you come into the bar 2 hours ago, if the only stool not taken was next to a black man, would you have taken the stool anyway? Treated him to a beer? I don't know what I would have done. But it just didn't happen. So why make an issue out of it? Why not just sit back and drink our beers? Don't you see? How can you be so very sure of what you believe if what you believe is based on what you see on TV? I'm not sure I understand what you're saying and what you expect me to do. Do you have any children? Sure, I said. I have 2 boys. And how old are they? One's 17, the other 22. Do they have any friends who are not white? Well, he sat and thought for a minute. To tell you the truth, I don't really know. The younger one's on his high school football team, the older one's in the Army, so I guess so. He sat and thought a little while. Then he scraped the label of the beer with his nail. I guess my younger son probably does, since he's on the school football team. Many of his fellow players are probably black. As for my eldest son, he sat deep into thought, his nails digging deeper into his wet label for a beer. Yeah, I guess I see your point. My boys must have at least a few black friends that really don't look like them. Have you ever brought them home? Has he ever brought them home? They're teammates of color, to introduce you to you and to your wife. No, not that I remember. Why? Is it because they don't look like you? He didn't respond. Did your boys know that their black friends would have been welcome? Would they have been treated as guests? He sat Again in silence, I could almost hear him thinking. Suddenly he stopped peeling, put the neck of to his lips, and took another sip. You know, black parents have the same worries about their children that you and your wife have about yours. Are they hanging around with the right crowd? Are they careful? Are they safe? But the difference is when your sons go out at night to party or on a date, your only concern about their being stopped by the cops is for their safe driving, not for their race. While black parents have to worry about their sons could be stopped simply because of the color of their face. I started with this book because for a few different reasons. The first one is because I'm going to show you one of the poems that went along with what I just read to you. That's called an Eintu. Let me share the screen. Where is the Eintu? Here it is. All right, so you should be able to see this, I'm hoping. I did this because to say what I said before. Where did I learn this from? I wanted to find out what other kinds of poetry there was. This is an African American form of poetry that I was unfamiliar with. The way this works is because of Kwanzaa, there are 7 parts to this. There are also 7 lines to each of the parts, and they're named after the days of Kwanzaa. And the first line is always 2 syllables, the second 4, the third 6, the fourth 8, the third 6, well, I'm sorry, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th one is 4, and the last one is 2. And all of them are just like that. So I'd like to read this poem to you just to give you an idea. This is what I learned from this particular form of poetry. My son. Oh, by the way, there's one other thing, and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying. I have one adopted son, and he's biracial. My son, I want you to listen to me carefully because there are certain things that you need to know to get by in this world today. Self-determination. While you may always be a first-class citizen, you will always be treated as second-class citizen, however hard you try. Responsibility. Always carry ID for proof of who you are, and always be extra polite so that you get safely home to your own bed at night. Cooperative economics. Don't wear clothes that stand out, hoodies or baggy pants, a backwards cap or a silk do-rag, or you'll be taken for a gangster or a thug. 5, purpose. Always put both hands on top of your car's dashboard where the cops can clearly see them, and always expect to get patted down as well. 6, creativity. You will always have to work twice as hard as your white-skinned fellow classmates and friends to do that every day, to go just half as far. And number 7, faith. Know this, that no matter what others think of you, you must be proud of who you are. For if you have this faith, my son, then you'll go far. Now, why did I read this to you? I read this to you because I had dinner with my son 2 nights ago, and he had just come back from Europe. And when they were in Italy, there was 8 of them that went to, before they got on the airplane, they checked their passports and stuff. The other 7, they didn't ask. They asked my son for his passport. He said to me, I remember when you had this talk with me. Thank God I understand what you were saying. So that's one of the things I'm doing. Finally, to finish with this book, I wanted to show you something. What I am doing is I am working on a all of the poems in this book are being read by different poets from around the world. So what I would like to do is I would like to let them read you two of the poems from this book. One of them is called Conversation, a Sonnet in Honor of Emmett Till. And I don't know whether you're familiar with her. She's a New Jersey poet. Her name is Amira Shabazz Bilal. She's a friend of mine, and she read one of the poems. I'm going to explain to you what this is going to be doing. We're putting all of these poems together, along with the narrative poems, and I'm going to donate it free to any high school, college, or university who wants to use the PowerPoint presentation. And you'll see there are questions at the end of each of them, and it will help with opening discussions on race. So this is Amira. I'm only going to play the introduction once. The murder of George Perry Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis police on May 25th, 2020, produced a wave of demonstrations in every major city and town in America, and throughout the majority of the countries of the world as well. In all of these demonstrations, under the banner of Black Lives Matter, an equal number of white, Asian, Latinx, and Native Americans marched arm in arm and in solidarity with their African American brothers and sisters. Racism was no longer just an African American problem. It had become an American problem. At the beginning of June 2020, I was determined to address the problem of racism in America in the only way I knew how. In his book, Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man, Emmanuel Acho, former linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, encouraged white people to speak to each other, to have this very important conversation about the treatment of their Black brothers and sisters. If your goal is to fight racism, he said, and to help foster an America that isn't built on white privilege, then you'll have to do your part. After reading his words, I decided to write a book of poetry that would have this conversation, as Emmanuel Acho suggested, to do my part. And so I wrote this conversation.
A sonnet in honor of Emmett Till. Nicholas Hayward was shot and killed while playing cops and robbers. We're only playing were his last words. Cops just couldn't be bothered. Dwayne Carrington held down when a cop's gun accidentally went off. Even though Wayne had done no wrong, another Black life was lost. Ayanna Jones was in her bed when shot and died instantly. The cops barged in, their guns ablaze. It was being filmed for TV. Trayvon Martin, armed with Skittles and an Arizona iced tea, gunned down by a neighborhood volunteer, tried, and then set free. Cameron Tillman played in a house with the owner's permission. It took Cameron 15 minutes to die. He was offered no assistance. Tamir Rice was shot by a cop while playing in Cleveland Park. Tamir had a toy. Then the cop, he didn't care. He fired before the car even stopped. Tyree King was 5 feet tall and weighed less than 100 pounds. Police mistook him for a robber, peppered his body with rounds. Jordan Edwards was leaving a party when he was savagely gunned down. He sat in his car. He was shot in the head No believable reason was found. Stephon Clark was shot in the dark 6 times in his back alone. Police said he was holding a gun. All they found was his phone. Botham Jean was surprised in his flat by an off-duty cop on the scene. She shot, said it was self-defense. But the flat wasn't hers. It was Jean's. Deonta Farah raised his hands, but the cop shot off half a clip. They said they thought they saw a gun. He had a bag of chips. Elijah McClain was walking home when a cop snuffed his life with a knee. I'm just different. That's all. That's all, he pleaded. I'm just different. His last words were, forgive me. Ahmaud Arbery was jogging in a white suburb as 2 men drove up in a car. They shot him 3 times in his hand and chest. He didn't jog very far. Casey Goodman was shot in the back, entering his grandmother's house. All he carried was a Subway sandwich, no gun, no Skittles, no phone. In the summer of 1955, they lynched 14-year-old Emmett Till. And even though it was many years ago, his memory just won't be still. Black Lives Matter. In her crown of sonnets, A Wreath for Emmett Till, Marilyn Nelson describes these lynchings as the profane, obscene theft of human lives. This book of poetry, this conversation, is dedicated to 105 of these lives who were somebody's children. Have you ever heard someone respond to Black Lives Matter with, don't all lives matter? How do you answer that question?
That was, I just wanted to give you a sample. All of those are going to be, as I said, put together in one presentation, and then will be available to any school in the United States that chooses to use them for that purpose. I want to show you one more, though, because I'm rather proud of this one. I'm not going to give you the intro, and I'm not going to give you the questions. I'm just going to give you the reading. And the reason why is I hate to be morose, but this guy read this so very well. His name is Spango. He lives in Sierra Leone in Africa, and he did this for me one Saturday. We both got together on a Zoom, and he had read my stuff, and I had read his. And at any event, what I try to do is make my poetry inclusive. One of the things that maybe I didn't tell you was the way I got to meet Derrick was he's a friend. He was a friend of my son's. He still is. All right, let me show you this one. Where is he? Where is it? This conversation. Wait a minute. What the hell? Sorry. Let's see if I can get out of this and back into. All right, here we go. This is the second part of a 3-part poem. And this is about the voyage across the Atlantic in which 2 million Africans died on the way over. 2 million of them. They either jumped off the ships, they were thrown off the ships, or they died in the hulls of the ships. And this is a poem about that. So I wrote this conversation.
Ona Ari, Migo Passage, Okun Kiku, Ocean, Death. The coast of Mali's ocean sea was dotted with its ports. The slave ships dug their sails, still fell, awaited human cargo of 20 million captured from the land's interior. Half don't survive the torturous journey to the western coast. Once they arrived at Mali's ports, their woolly heads were shaved, their naked backs were scared with brains that glowed in the dark ship's holds. Their hands and feet were clad in irons before the ships depart. Their limbs were shackled, hand and foot, 500 in each hold. The air, a fated boy of human fat and human waste. Many just refused to eat. The speculum performed this task. Some died slowly of body flood. Some jumped into the waves. 2 million stars, 2 million souls lie on the Atlantic Ocean's floor. A dead body cannot receive a double punishment. If there's no cloth to cover it, there'll always be the sea.
I want to tell you that the effects and everything for this is was done by a poet from New Jersey, James C. Ellerby, and he's a very good friend too. So this is, I'm just looking to see. How am I for time?
You good? You got
Okay.
15 more minutes.
I got I'll show you just a few more of these books so you can see. This is one. It's a book that is it's a page from a book that I've written called Sunflowers, and it's about the war in Ukraine. And by the way, there's a Ukrainian poet and I, and we're both doing a book of poetry about not only the war in Ukraine, pardon me, but the problems that this country is having keeping itself together. So any of you that are poets that have a poem about either of those two things, contact me, please. And because we're looking for American poets as well as Ukrainian poets. By the way, your poems will be published not only in English, but in Ukrainian. This is called Cannon Fodder. The illustrations in this are by Beata Karkul. She is a Lithuanian artist who is living in Kyiv, and she allowed me to use all her artwork. This is called Cannon Fodder. If you had asked me if your life was worth losing before you told me that you had to go, if you had asked me if the cause for which you are fighting was worth your need to face the final blow, if you had asked me if all the lies they told you would keep you from the truth you'd need to know, if you had asked me all these things before you gave your life as fodder for a senseless cause, my answer would have been to tell you no. I probably would have begged you not to go. I would have told you a Russian tradition that sacrifices young men in forlorn hope. I would have told you that the hopeless mission they'd send you into bathed in cannon smoke. I would have told you that your quick decision would end with you lying in some field blood-soaked. I would have told you if you had asked before, you sacrificed your life as living fodder for a senseless mission on some foreign shore. I would have told you not to go to war. But now I know that it's too late to say, For you lay now on ground where fodder lays. Your eyes stare sightless into sun and rain. Because they lied, you had to die in vain. Your rotting corpse feeds sunflowers, tall grain, that grow in green abundance throughout Ukraine. And that's that poem. And that's from, let me show you. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. This book. All these are on Amazon, by the way. And let me see. I'd like to read you maybe 2, 3 more tops. And one of them is let me lighten the mood a tad. This is a book I put out of humorous poetry that I wrote. And one of the poems that I wrote in this is called, I'm just looking to see if I can find it. It's my sister's 12 years younger than me. And she I want to see whether I have it in here. Maybe I don't even have it in here. And so she was, when I was older, she was 12 years younger than me. And one day, you know what, before I do a lead into this, I better make sure it's here. Hold on. You know what? I don't want to chance the fact that this is not going to be here, so I'll go with another poem. I was going to read you a poem called "The Day the Lesbians Painted Our House." At least that's what my mother called them. But instead, I'll read you "Don't Do That Again." Do you remember the day that you were 3 and you pushed your little finger into the light socket to see what turned the lights on? Shocking, wasn't it? Don't do that again. You remember at 4 when you thought mothballs smelled so great that you'd put them up your nose to get a better whiff and you sniffed? Don't sniff that again. Do you remember at 5 when the kid down the street suggested you quench your thirst with a glass of kerosene and you drank it? Don't drink it again. Do you remember when you were 6 and you decided to pet the cute little organ grinder's monkey on Flatbush Avenue and he bit you? Don't pet him again. Do you remember when you were 7 and you loved the smell of DDT so much you jumped on the back of a truck for a ride? Were you crazy? Don't do that again. And one lonely night when you were 8 and you thought you heard something so very strange come creeping out from under your bed, take my advice. Cover your head. Don't look like you did then. Don't do that again. And I'll end with this poem, and it's from this book called The Eater of Dreams. And I want to thank you very much, by the way, for having both Derrick and I on, because this was really fun. And
Yes, it was.
and I was wondering whether you were here. In any event, I don't know whether you know this or not, because we've been talking about throwing immigrants out of the country these days. And ICE is running roughshod all throughout the country. But this is a young Guatemalan who came across the border into the United States when he was 15 years old. He was an orphan, and he was put into a foster home, and his name was Jose Antonio Gutierrez. He was U.S. Marine Lance Corporal, and he was a poet, by the way, besides. And one of his lines were, "I come from far away, where the angels live in misery, dress themselves in filth, and eat dreams." He was the first person to die in the Iraq War. He died within a half an hour after getting off the plane. He was not an American citizen. He was a green card soldier. And he was buried back in Guatemala. But he was an American. His name was Tonio. He was one of 125,000 homeless children in Guatemala. El, El polvo de la tierra, the dust of the earth, when he was 8. Unlike many others, he was a survivor. His name was Tonio. He did what he had to. He stole bikes. He sold shoe glue. He begged in dusty streets in Guatemala. From the dust of those streets, he fashioned dreams. His name was Tonio. He wrote poems. He traveled 3,000 miles by foot, by rubber, and by rail. He came to our border at 22. He said he was 16. He had to. He had dreams. His name was Tonio. He attended high school in California, lived with foster parents. If you're going to be proud of me, you're going to be proud of me, he said. I have dreams. Everyone is going to remember who I am. My name is Tonio. After high school, he enlisted in the Marines. He became a green card soldier. Like the 38,000 other young Central American men who wear the American uniform to fight, to belong, to survive. His name was Tonio. He was a child of the streets, El polvo de la tierra. So he wanted to fight for the dust of the earth of Iraq. I'll give my life if I have to. He had to. He was killed by friendly fire a few hours after landing in Iraq. He was the war's first fatality. He died for dreams that don't die. He died an American. His name was Tonio. Thank you.
That was awesome. You and Derrick make a great team. Both of you teach.
Thank you.
You just teach in a different way. And I want you, a lot of adults don't think that the youth can teach them anything, and that's wrong. Because the youth bring the fire, and the adults bring the wisdom. And together they make it work. And that's what you and Chris do. So, just so you two know, if I have to have a private session and I'm going to drag Artemis in with me like I drag her to everything else, you guys going to have to give us some little insight so we can write better. I've never had any formal writing. I just can write. So I need to learn other ways to write. And I refuse to be that big kid on the stage again that can't do spoken word. So you're going to have to help me out. Your record
He's
that you
going to have to
did,
do
the
it.
music, huh?
He's going to have to do the spoken word part. I don't know that I'm not good at it.
That record you did was really nice, and I'm noticing that a lot of poets now are dropping the albums. I just won't be one of them yet. If I did one, it would always have the little mellow jazz music behind it.
Yeah.
And that's what it would be. And if I do decide to do it, you're going to have to help me, okay?
It'll be my pleasure.
Great. I want everybody to unmute and give the two of them the biggest round of applause because I have had an excellent time. Not only have I enjoyed interviewing, I learned a lot, and that's worth a lot to me. So y'all, let's give it up for them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Awesome.
For yourself as well, Chris. Come on, we part of the crowd too.
So Artemis, you did hear I was going to drag you into the little session, right? You did hear that part.
Yes, I heard that part. I ain't say nothing. I'm good. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm looking
I'm going to
forward.
make sure I'm in Alabama when I do it. See, in case you all don't know, we're actually related. We're cousins. Our dads are brothers. And we call ourselves sister cousins because she lost her sister and I didn't have a sister or a real sister. And we always just be there for each other. We grew up together, and sometimes when you're growing up, you kind of drift apart to go do your own thing. But the important part is you come back when it's needed. And she's always been a great sister that I always wanted. So I keep her
Mm-hmm.
around.
And
That's why.
she filled the gap when I lost my baby girl like like no other. So she
Mm-hmm.
can't get away from me.
That's powerful. It's actually a little tidbit I'll add. As I say, nothing happens for no reason. Just the other day while I was in Red Bank, I was walking, and as I was heading to the library, I see a restaurant. And it's interesting because we're over here cooking up some poetry and cooking up some good vibes over here. And as I'm walking past, what the restaurant was called was Soul Sisters. And so that seems that y'all souls were always meant to align and have this space where y'all was able to connect. So I'm grateful that y'all got that space because that's very important to have somebody that to help you through those times and just a person that you know that you can rely on and reside in, and always depend on to be a rock and during those hard times when you need
Amen.
it.
Amen.
That's why I get to drag her in everything I do. I'm trying to get her to think like me, and she's
No,
resistant.
I'm older, so never.
See, I wasn't gonna tell you were older than I am. Okay,
I'm older, so never.
Mm,
I'm still 29. Okay, I've been
mm,
Yep.
29 so long. My kids are older than me. So hey,
yeah.
I'm okay.
Um, I just recently turned 25, but I've been actually as I'm making music, I've been meeting a lot of people, who are a couple of years younger. I even have I call the youngins young bulls. Um, and so I have a young bull who he's actually teaching me a lot about music, more so on how to use BandLab and certain things like that. And I feel like we could always learn. I'm even learning things just from watching my nephew, my young 4 year old. So always keep an open mind, Artemis. You never know. She might help you expand, and then next thing you know, that'll end up revealing a layer of yourself you didn't know was in there. And then you could even apply a couple better teachings to her now that you opened yourself up.
She told me I was twisted.
She
That I had
is.
a twisted mind.
Yeah. You
Hey,
once you get to
listen,
know her, you'll find out that she ain't all there. Mm-mm.
let me remind you, ladies, the recording is still going.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, everybody that's ever been around us, no, we always do this to each other because it's fun. Um, and by the way, Derek, um,
Yes.
adding on what you just said, my 9 year old granddaughter, which is
Mm,
my ride or die, I love that little girl,
mm,
and in her school they're teaching them about poetry.
mm,
So she comes, she's going to be a teacher. And when I said going to be a teacher, anytime you buy her anything, she only wants it for her classroom. She
mm.
gets her classwork ready when she comes home for the next day. That's how serious she is.
That's
So
beautiful.
she comes to me and she always, can we play school? No, she said, can we play teach? I said, sure. And she's been teaching me the different parts of the poetry. She wrote a book, well, we wrote one together.
Mm,
And she sold some, and she did that when she was about 6. And
mm.
so I'm open to learning from the young people because they learn stuff early that we didn't get to learn. They
Right.
told us a limerick was a poem, and I didn't know no better. My grandson, who is 11, he's teaching me how to do the little videos and cut them in. He just like
Mm,
5 nights of Freddy all the time. So hey,
mhm.
and I'm glad that you are learning from Chris and passing it on because that's
Yeah.
important. What you learn, you don't. It does no good when you learn something and you don't pass it on. But I'm
Mhm.
proud. Once again, I'm really proud of you. You know what? You about to be my son.
Hmm.
I um I lost my son about 3 years ago.
Oh,
So I guess I keep trying to find somebody to help me out there. You about
hey,
to
I'm
be
always
adopted,
willing to expand the family.
right? That works for me.
All
So
right.
now, this is the part. Remember, I told you to remember what your name means? Okay,
Mm, yeah.
this is why. Artemis, you're up first, as always.
Okay. Derek, this is gonna be from the German
Mm,
version of your name.
okay.
And it is entitled First Steps.
Mm,
You have had your share of closed doors, but that has not been enough to erase the place from which your truth pours. Invitations to quit fall like rain. You try, you fail, but nothing stops you from trying again.
mm,
Dear Derrick, you are still here. Be encouraged that your worth is something you must never fear, for your spirit is something that we celebrate and cheer.
mm,
Even though your knees may shake as your first steps to becoming you boldly take. Sometimes the sound of the pen scratching across paper will fill you with doubt. That is only jitters before something powerful from your soul springs out.
mm,
If you have only one reason to rise up and fight, hold it like a match in the dark. Guard it like a flame. Never hide your magic. Make everyone remember your name, which is derived from German roots, meaning ruler of the people or giver of insight.
mm,
You are built from greatness to gift the world with shining light. Your first steps are purposeful and make an explosive impact. Remember who you are, Derrick, a noble ruler, an influencer, and that is a fact. End of piece.
mm. Thank
So,
Very welcome.
you. I love that.
Mr. Chris, I get to read a poem about that I wrote about you. Remember, you're the Christ bearer. It's entitled Light in the Dark. You are a caring person. Christ bearer, Christ bearer, you shoulder others. You give hope to the hopeless. You guide the feet of those that stumble. You have guiding footsteps. You lead guiding footsteps for them to follow. You are like a bridge over troubled water. You are steady as a mountain, gentle as morning glories glistening in the sun. A voice that soothes the troubled mind with when others' light goes dim. You are there to share yours. May your blessings be many. Your light stay strong. May Christ always sustain you in peace.
Thank you.
Amen.
And that's how I see you.
Can I have a copy of that? Would you let me have a copy of that?
Sure, you're
Yes,
going to
me
get
too,
one.
please. I would like that one. That Artemis wrote, please.
I'll email them to you in a little bit when we get off. I'll email them to you.
Thank
But
you.
Thank
Chris, that's how I see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I don't give compliments often, so you know what? You have to take that one, and remember it.
you. Remember it well.
That's how I do Artemis. That's you only get one compliment a year. You better hold on to it. And then I end up giving her a bunch of them through the year. But
Mm.
Chris, I think that what you're doing is exceptional. I think what you're doing in your writings, your conversation book, I think you're putting to sleep the myth that no white people help fight for our civil rights. And that's a lie. Because I know for a fact there was almost as many of you all fighting out there as it was us. I know for a fact that that's the reason that's the reason Kennedy, both the Kennedys was killed because they cared about us. They killed Martin because we followed him. So you speaking out gives helps us have a voice. When we see you speaking, then that gives us a motivation to follow. So
I have a
I,
feeling that one handshake must have transmitted way more than I expected it to.
Mm.
so
Same when you got to shake his
You
hand,
know
huh?
who I'm talking about?
I
Martin
remember.
Luther King. So um, I'm really proud to know you. I'm really
Thank
proud to know both of you all.
you.
For some reason, poetry tends to bring people together. And I'm new in the game. I've only been doing this a year. I'm
Mm.
still green, but I'm still open to new faces. I want to um, give people who now see. I don't know about everybody else, but it's hard sometimes to get your voice out there. And sometimes if you don't have the money to pay somebody, you can't do it. So this is my way of giving people a voice and an opportunity to be heard and be seen, something that I did not have. So,
Thank you
you
for
do
giving
know
us
that
this
you'll be back,
opportunity.
right?
Yes.
You know
Yes.
this. So y'all might as well keep your schedule open because you all will be back. Um, I'm always coming up with stuff to drag Artemis in. I'll tell her, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like I did the show. I said, oh, yeah, we got a show Saturday.
Sounds good.
But she's all. Don't get me wrong. I pick at her a lot. That's my ride or die. When
Right.
I feel doubtful, she's always there to tell me, "Girl, you can write. Why you acting like that?"
Mm,
So Chris is that for you, and she's that for me. And
mm,
yes, Artemis, you are my backbone. Take that one and run.
Thank you, sister cousin.
So I want everybody to know I really appreciate you guys coming out to support Derek and Chris. Um, I don't know about anybody else, but I had a banged up good time. This has
yes, I
been
enjoyed.
by far the best one I've had yet.
Mm.
Thank you guys. And
Thank you for sharing the space.
I'll get you a copy of this as soon as it finishes downloading, and
Perfect.
a copy of the poems as well.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
everyone. I want everybody to have a blessed rest of the weekend.
You
You
too.
as well. Stay blessed.
Bye bye.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
Thank you,
Take
Arden.
care.
You too.
Now I'm gonna go hug on my little grandbaby.
Oh yeah, that's the blessing.
Yeah,
Nothing
Yeah, he's
going on.
my grandson
he's
came in here. He didn't even know I was on a Zoom. I was so glad I was muted. I heard him scream my name in the living room, and he came busted in here. He says, "I want some
Greg. Come here.
Robux because he's playing this game and he
Come here.
wanted these little tokens to play with." I said, "I'm on a
Watch.
Zoom." He
You
says,
see?
"Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,"
Yeah.
and he flew back out.
Hold
So
on.
yeah, I got to go
Hold.
hug on
Right
mine
here.
too.
This the grandson. This is my little Puerto Rican black baby.
Hey, Greg.
Right.
Greg gives good hugs, y'all. Every time Greg sees me, I don't care
But
if he
like my
sees me
cousin
50
Land,
times.
but my cousin Landon do. But no more, not my cousin Landon.
He
Yeah.
always he gives me big hugs every time he sees me, and he tells my grandson, "You need to hug Angie more." So he's picking at him all the time. But thanks everybody, and hope to see you guys again.
Peace
Bye
out.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.